Hello, everyone, and welcome to another exciting episode of Control or Be Controlled. It's a brand new day and a brand new day, and it's a brand new episode of the show. And your host, as always, is here, Darlington. And you guys know this podcast is designed to help you start thinking differently and help you take control of your life. And today we have One I Am on the show. One I Am, that's a pretty and very unique name. So I guess during the course of the show, we will get to know why his name is One I Am. So One I Am is an author and philosopher and speaker whose work explores the profound relationship between consciousness, perception, and human experience. One I Am, welcome to Control or Be Controlled.
Thank you so much. It's a pleasure to be here.
All right, so I would also like you to add a little bit to that introduction.
Okay, I am One I Am. I'm an author, a speaker, and lifelong student of consciousness, perception, and spiritual awakening. For decades, I have explored the relationship between awareness, identity, and the deeper principles that shape human experience. I'm a 9+ Degree Frater of the Rosicrucian Order, AMORC, which is a fraternal organization that studies natural law and ancient wisdom. And my work bridges ancient wisdom with modern understanding, inviting people to look beyond conditioned thinking and discover the awareness that exists beneath it.
All right, thank you so much. So I would like us to get into the questions I have here for you. Okay, so what does it really mean to live in the shift when your life no longer looks the way you planned?
What does it mean to, can you repeat the question, please?
What does it mean to live in the shift when your life no longer looks the way you planned?
Well, your life is always looking the way you planned. Uh, the You are the commander of your life with your thoughts and what you believe in. And the universe is a mental machination that obeys the commands of the mind. It's an energy matrix of mental energy. It obeys the commands of the mind, and those commands are the thoughts and the beliefs that it holds. So you're always getting the experience that you believe in, the one that you see and hold your attention to. You understand? So, you're always in control, but you're just not maybe in conscious control of the process. And that's where I come in. I try to help people to awaken to the spirit within and being able to consciously control the experience that they're having, the life experience.
All right, I want thank you so much. So moving on to the next question I have for you. I mentioned earlier before we started that in the course of the show we are going to find out why the name is One I Am. So why is your name One I Am?
My name is One I Am because I had a spiritual awakening many years ago, maybe 25 years ago. And I changed my name to One I Am because I discovered that it is I that am. So my last name became I Am because I am. And the one is it's like saying, Mr. Johnson or Mr. Jones. The one is just a handle, a suffix, a prefix, or whatever. But One I Am is the name. One is the handle. I Am is the name.
All right, thank you so much, One I Am. So for those who have been wondering what One I Am means and why your name is One I Am, I'm very sure from this explanation they can get the meaning from that. So talking about spiritual awakening, there's a gap in spiritual awakening, a gap whereby people feel like they are awakened, but deep down they just have a different belief about something. Most people have mistaken or taken spiritual awakening in a very different way from what it seems to be. Can you speak on that?
Yeah. Most people think spiritual awakening is something that a person does. You understand? Uh, that's not what spiritual awakening is. Spiritual awakening is completely awakening to the spirit within, and understanding that it is you. You are no longer asleep, walking dead within the perceptive process, believing you are the identity that you have taken on. You realize that you are the one that is observing this process, the one that's looking out, the one that's having the experience, but you're not actually the identity or the world. You are in it, but you are not of it. It is in you, and you are controlling it. You understand? So spiritual awakening is awakening the spirit to its power and its majesty and its control over the entire mental machination that we call world and life and we call me. That observer is the real, and the other part is just the effect coming from the observer's mind and the thoughts that it holds.
All right, one, I am. Thank you so much. Thank you for clarifying what spiritual awakening is and what spiritual awakening is not. So, ancient mystics thought that the outer reflects the inner. So many people think like that as well. Personally, for me, I feel like when I don't feel good inside of me, I kind of look ugly on the outside and I look stressed out on the outside. So, how do you see that principle operating in modern life?
Yeah, that's one of the Hermetic principles, the ancient wisdom principles. Um, as within, so without. As above, so below. It all starts from within, the inner. The inner is the real. And then what you see externally is uh, an unreal reflection of what's going on inside. You understand? The inside is the cause. That's where all the power is at, within, in the inner, where the spirit is. And then the cause causes the effect. The effect being the universe, the identity, the world that you're going through and experiencing. It's a mental matrix made of mental energy, the mental energy of the mind, but it's cause and effect. You understand? So, as they say, Jesus said in the Bible, the kingdom is within. Learn all the rules, of the kingdom first, and then you can have anything you want. And this is true because all the power and all the command happens within. And then you see what you believe, in the external world and have that experience. You understand? You are the observer controlling the process. But if you're unaware of that, then the process is controlling you. Control or be controlled.
Okay, one I am. Thank you so much. Thank you. So, talking about silence and stillness, what role do they play in a world that seems increasingly distracted, noisy, and fast-paced?
Yeah, well, let's take silence first. Silence is the foundation uh, of every sound that's ever been made, that's ever been heard. Silence is what it's based on. It's the foundation. That's where you go inner. That's where the silence is. You understand? And the base of everything that comes out externally, it rides on the silence. Even the voice now that I am speaking, as I am talking to you, the sounds that are coming out are riding on silence. And then when I stop, the silence is there. You understand? The silence is necessary. The silence is where the power is in the inner. And if you talk about stillness, every motion that's ever been made, everything that's ever happened is riding on stillness. You understand? As the base and foundation of it all. And stillness is how it happens. It can't happen without riding on stillness. And even, as you have this life experience and etc., you're going to return into the stillness. We've seen many loved ones and friends uh, go into the stillness and the silence again. You understand? That's where all the possibilities are. You understand? You are the still, silent, and the unseen observer of the mental process. You understand? And silence and stillness is the foundation and the base of everything you experience.
Definitely, all sounds, everything came out of silence. Even creation came out from silence. So, if listeners remember only one thing from our conversation today, oh, okay, before we get into that question, let's move on. That would be like, let's reserve that for the last question. Tell us the relationship between awareness and identity. And please, when I want you to simplify
Yes.
this particular answer, the relationship between awareness and identity.
Yeah. Well, awareness is the being, the intelligence, the the power, the mental power, the intelligence, and the information within. That is awareness. Awareness is what's looking at the mental process and observing the experience. Awareness cannot be touched, it cannot be hurt, damaged, or anything. It's just having the experience. You can have a bad experience, but you're not actually touching the awareness of the observer. You understand? It's just a process. Identity is the mask that the observer wears, you understand, in order to have the experience. It enters a perceptive point of view where it can have the perceptive experience, you understand, the experience of life and everything. You are not the identity. You are the power within the identity. But if you reduce yourself in your mind to the identity, then you're going to lock yourself into the process as something little, small, and basically powerless within. You understand? Just remember that you are the observer, the all powerful and infinite quantum field, as they call it, where all the possibilities are. And you are not the identity. You are having the experience of being the identity. And you can have it as you will if you awaken to the power within and stop living externally. Be in the world, but not of it.
Right. Thank you so much, One I am. So, what question should every human being ask themselves before they die?
I started out with asking why. Why am I even having this process? Why am I going through a life? What is this all about? These are the important questions. Getting up and going to work every day and eating and going to the bathroom and this. These are processes that you're going through just blindly, not even knowing why. Why? What is this all about? Start asking those questions and then looking for the reason why they are, and and then you'll get down to the bottom of what it's all about. What the world is all about, why you're here, why you live and die. What is that cycle all about? You understand? Because that's a cycle of identity. The observer never dies, never lives. The observer just is. You understand?
Yeah. Thank you so much, One I Am. So why do people continue repeating the same patterns in life, and how can they break free from them?
Uh, I wrote a book called Attention Loops, and that's the problem. Your attention goes on the same thing. You have the same thoughts every day. You believe in this thing. You have the same beliefs in everything every day. Nothing is going to change until you believe something different. As you've seen uh, in the quantum experiments, the double slit experiment and everything, the observer causes the possibilities to come into particle reality. Just by observing what it is he wants to have, then the possibilities come down into material reality just from the observation. So it is your attention, the things that you are attending to and what you are believing that is causing the cycles in your life to continue. They're like loops that are happening over and over and over because you're running the same cycle of beliefs and thoughts. And my latest book, By the Time You See It, man, it's a wonderful book. It takes you through the process of the unseen observer all the way out to the perceptive effect that you are experiencing now. You understand the whole process of how it happens. You understand? And you get that book, understand how it happens, and you can start to make the changes that you need to make in order for something different to happen in your life.
Okay, so if there's one thing you wish every listener to take away from this our conversation, what would you want that to be?
I would want them to stop ignoring the spirit. Stop ignoring the spirit. Stop ignoring the observer uh, for the process. You understand? They've gone out into the external world. They believe in the identity more than they believe in the source of the identity. You understand? And the source is the only realness. The all is mind. The universe is mental. So awaken to yourself within and take control of your own mental machination. That's what I want you to take away from this conversation and start to find out how to do it.
Okay, so thank you, One I Am, for coming to my show. Thank you for sharing your perspective and your insights with me and my audience. So,
It's been
for
a
those who
pleasure.
would like, uh,
It's been a pleasure,
all right. So,
Darlington.
for those who would like to connect with you, you mentioned that you have a book as well. Those who would like to get your book and connect with you, how can they do that?
At my website, thekingdomwithin.com. That's the dash kingdom dash within.com. I have blogs there, blog posts there, maybe 100, telling you all about yourself and how you operate. And then I have links to my books. All of my books are on Amazon.com. They are in other places, but Amazon.com mainly. And just go to my website, thekingdomwithin.com, and start to learn about yourself and understand that you are the being and not the identity.
Once again, thank you so much for coming to my show, and I hope we can have another episode of this. Personally, for me, I would also like to reach out to you for times where I have identity crisis, trying to switch between being conscious of
Yes.
present self, identity, and because talking about patterns, honestly, a lot of people are stuck in patterns. I myself, I try to make patterns. I try to move from not being awake, spirituality, being awake. I try to
Hmm.
listen more to information, but a lot of times I feel confused and I don't know how to do that. So I think we need a lot of time to speak about this. So personally, for me, I would like to reach out to you. And I hope we can do something personal between I and myself and you.
You can always reach out to me. You
All right. Thank you
understand?
so much. Okay. Thank you so
You're,
much, One I Am, and do have a wonderful day.
you're welcome. Bye bye.